Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis have a new fight brewing, and it's over Black Lives Matter, but not for the reason that you might expect. It actually comes about as a result of a man named Mark Fisher, who calls himself a co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, recently having expressed his support for Donald Trump on the Kim Iverson show. Take a look.
It's obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us.
Yeah, I can't.
Their policies actually strike at the heart of the Black family and the nuclear family. A lot of people are misinformed. They don't really understand because they don't educate themselves on Donald Trump as a person and his history. But if they do that, and it's going to take, leaders, educated leaders, getting the word out there, I think that it'll happen on its own. It'll be organic because personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like, if a real man, how could you not relate to someone like that?
Gross. Anyway, that's Mark Fisher, and he is entitled to his political opinion. If he thinks that Donald Trump is great and Donald Trump is a real man or whatever, he can have that view or whatever. It's when he identifies himself as being like a co-founder of BLM Rhode Island or being like a high up in BLM that it becomes more noteworthy. And Fox News took that and ran with it. And they did their little segment about it. And Donald Trump took it and ran with it. He took the Fox News segment and said, spoke with Mark Fisher yesterday, great guy. Very honored to have his and BLM's support. I've done more for capital B Black people than any other president. Lincoln, including 10-year funding for historically Black colleges and universities where they had none, opportunity zones, criminal justice reform, and much more. Thank you to Mark. But here's the issue with that. First of all, it's super weird that suddenly he's saying that he loves the support of BLM when he's called them terrorists for years. That seems weird and is worthy of discussion. But according to BLM, no, the guy's not a founder of BLM. This is one of the actual leaders of Rhode Island Black Lives Matter. It says, in response to recent media coverage, we would like to clarify that Mark Fisher is not and has never been affiliated with our organization. The views expressed by Mr. Fisher in the reference Fox News segment do not reflect the values or beliefs of BLM Rhode Island PAC. We would like to emphasize that Mark Fisher claims association with Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, a nonprofit organization. Any statements or actions attributed to him should not be conflated with our organization. And again, so he can endorse him as an individual, but like they're weirdly now trying to pretend that Black Lives Matter is supportive of him, which doesn't make sense, but it is causing its own problems perhaps for Donald Trump. Ron DeSantis decided to use this, saying on Twitter, BLM praising Donald Trump and Trump celebrating it makes perfect sense. When BLM was burning down cities and assaulting police officers in cities across this country, Trump did nothing but sit in the White House tweeting law and order. We did it differently in Florida. I didn't just tweet, I took action and called up the National Guard. We were not going to let our cities burn. As president, I will not sit idly by and watch rioters torch American cities. That is all apocalyptic dystopian nonsense. And Trump didn't just sit and tweet. He was like black bagging activists off the streets of American cities and throwing them into minivans and advocating for activists to be gunned down the streets. And some were, but whatever. Now they're fighting. Let them fight. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, as you were presenting this, I was just going through my head. This was a group that they have attacked and demonized and turned into a buzzword for years. And Trump just suddenly welcomes it. And it reflects how anybody who loves him or supports him, he thinks is great and worth publicizing, because that's all he cares about. That's what guides him. To go back to our Elon story, they're neck and neck for who wants positive affirmation more. And maybe some points that put Trump ahead on this one, because he just did a total 180 on Black Lives Matter because one guy claims to be the founder and spokesperson for the organization. And Trump's like, oh, thank you for the support. I love BLM. I'm so excited. Like, you're setting yourself up for such an easy slam dunk, because the entire Republican base has been conditioned to hear that word and react negatively, hear that title, hear that group, and have a visceral negative reaction. That's how people are conditioned. And it just shows that is his only guiding principle. If they love me, I love them. And that's it.
100%. Like, that might be the biggest 180 we've ever seen. It would be like if like some random person was like, I helped set up Drag Queen Story Hour at Pete's Coffee, and now I'm pro-Trump. And Trump's like, love drag queens, they're the best. Thank you for your support, drag queens. Like, what? Anyway, Yeah, we could go through all the tweets. Donald Trump has demonized BLM so enthusiastically year after year, telling massive lies. And, he's not even the worst on that. Ron DeSantis, Fox News have done a lot of that too. But Jesus, it's amazing how quickly he can pivot on things.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.